We go to the next topic, that is pressure in fluids. Now yesterday we saw thrust, that is the force acting on the area depending on the area of contact. Okay. Now all the liquids and gases, which they are called as fluids. We all know that solid exerts pressure on the surface due to its weight. Okay. Similarly, fluids also have got weight, and they also, just turn the page, exert pressure on the base and the walls of the container in which they are enclosed. Okay. Pressure exerted in any confined mass of a fluid is transmitted and undiminished in all the directions. So whenever you have a fluid in a container, that means it is exerting the pressure on the base of that container and the walls of that container. Okay. Now let us go to the next topic, that is buoyancy. Now what is buoyancy? For that, if any one of you have gone to the pool, swimming pool and all, as soon as you enter the water, you feel lighter. Okay. And if you have ever drawn the water from the well, whenever the bucket is put inside the water, okay, we feel very lighter, and as soon as we pull it out of the well, the bucket feels heavier. Inside the well also, the bucket, whenever the bucket is totally inside the well water, still we don't feel the weight of the bucket, but as soon as the complete bucket comes out, it is heavy. Okay. The same is the next question, that why is a ship made up of iron and steel does not sink in the sea water? Okay. And if we put the same amount of sheet of iron and steel, would it sink or not? Okay. So let us answer these questions with the help of this activity 10.4. Take a empty plastic bottle, close the mouth of the bottle, make it airtight. Okay. And put it inside a bucket filled with water. You see that the bottle will float. Now try to push the bottle again in the water. As when you're pushing the bottle in the water, you will feel an upward push. Okay, you can perform this activity at your home. And as and when you release this bottle, it bounces back to the surface. So why doesn't the bottle stay immersed in the water after it is released? Okay, so once you release, it's again coming back to the surface. So why does this happen? Okay, that's because the force due to gravitational attraction of the earth that attracts the bottle in the downward direction. So it's initially pulled downwards, but there is a force exerted by the water. That's called as the upward force on the bottle. Okay, thus the bottle gets pushed upwards. Now, we all know that weight of an object is due to the force due to the gravitational attraction of the earth. So, when a bottle is immersed, the upward force exerted by the water on the bottle is greater than its weight. Therefore, it rises up. Okay. So, the force which the water is exerted on this bottle is great, or it's more than its weight of the bottle. Then only you can push the object, right? If the force is more. Okay, so the upward force exerted by the water on this bottle is known as an upthrust or buoyant force. So all the objects experience this force of buoyancy when they are immersed in any fluid, and the magnitude or the value of this buoyant force depends on the density of the liquid, how much dense that fluid is. More density, the magnitude of the buoyant force will be more. Less of the density, the magnitude will be less. Okay. The second question is why the objects float or sink when placed on the surface of water. Again, you have an activity 10.5. You take an iron nail, put it in a beaker filled with water and observe. Okay, we observe that the nail sinks in the water. Now, why does this happen? Because the force due to the gravitational attraction on the earth on the nail that pulls it downward. Okay, but at the same time, there is an upthrust of water on the nail which pushes it upwards. That we have already seen that all the fluids are going to exert this force. So this upthrust of water is there, but the downward force acting on the nail is greater than this upthrust. So it sinks. So the gravitational force is more than this buoyant force. Okay. Now what happens to a cork? Okay. Now the cork, which is made up of wood, if you put it in the water, it floats while the nail sinks. Now why this happens? This happens because there is a difference in the densities of cork and nail. The density of the substance is defined as the mass per unit volume. How much mass is there per unit volume? That is a density. So the density of the cork is less than the density of the water. This means the thrust of water on the cork is greater than the weight of the cork, so it floats. Obviously, see, if the density of water is more, it can apply more force on the cork because the cork has got less density. So that means this upthrust of water is working on the cork, so it floats. But the density of iron nail is more than the density of water. So whatever upthrust the water is acting on the nail, that force is not sufficient for this nail. So that's why it can't pull the nail up. So it sinks. Therefore, the objects of which have got less density than the liquid, whichever liquid you put that object in, you can put in milk, you can put in oil, you can put in water. So the objects which are putting in the liquid, okay, if the density is less than that liquid, then the objects will float, and if the density is greater than that liquid, then the objects will sink. So this is the principle behind the floating and sinking of an object. We have got next questions given here. Question number 3. 3 questions are there. You just answer the questions. Archimedes principle we'll do in the next class. Thank you.